Hi, my name's Jeff. I'm with AT Charter Spectra Internet Service, and we're just wanting to see if we could talk to you about improving your internet speed in your area.
No, I'm good.
Oh, geez. Well, that's a shame. Well, thanks for anyway. Oh, hey, ma'am, I want to talk to you about your internet service.
You see, Jeff, my internet doesn't stink. I just need whole house coverage. So today I'm looking at the Netgear Nighthawk tri-band mesh Wi-Fi 6 system, the AX3600. This thing has 6,750 square foot of coverage and with Wi-Fi speeds up to 3.6 gigabits per second. Okay, my problem is I need internet here. My router's over here, and there's this huge dead spot right here. I want to be able to cover the whole house. I want the speed that I pay for. I don't want it to be cut in half on the speed, and I also want to be able to put numerous devices on there. I think that's pretty simple. I just need you to tell me that it does that, and it does it for a decent price, and it does it for whatever price. Just tell me what it does. I'll keep this real simple. I'm looking for a few things with my mesh Wi-Fi system. I'm looking for whole house coverage, meaning that I want to be able to use my internet above the garage, in the garage, as well as I do when I'm sitting in my living room. By putting the router over on the right-hand side of my house in the living room area, the left-hand side of my house doesn't get any internet coverage whatsoever. I was using Wi-Fi extenders, and Wi-Fi extenders, by their virtue of how they're made, they literally take the signal and they repeat it, but they cut it in half. So the signal is half as strong, or the speed is half as much. I didn't know this stuff until I started researching it. So just fact of the matter. So look, I'm looking for whole house coverage without any dead spots. Number two, I'm looking for speed. Because the range extenders cut the speed in half, I want full speed. I don't want to pay for a service and only be able to use it in half my house, and I don't want to pay for a service and then have to buy another device and only work at half the speed in the rest of the house. So I want full coverage and I want full speed. No problem, whatever. And then I want to be able to put multiple devices on it without it killing the speed. So I need whole house coverage, full speed, and be able to put numerous devices on there without killing the speed. So what do? I go to Amazon and I start looking for things. I go to the websites and I start looking for things. I find all these different articles on the best Wi-Fi mesh systems there are out there. And that sounds great, but it's so inundating with information. I'm not a techie guy. I just want to be able to use my Wi-Fi. I upload YouTube videos. I want to be able to upload my YouTube videos without having to turn on a hotspot from a cell phone. I want to be able to use my system. I've got a pool area. I'd like to be able to use my iHeartRadio or whatever app I decide to use without having to turn it on cellular device, so cellular data. I'm not a huge computer guy. I mean, I know how to do all this stuff, but I want to be able to just turn on my system and it work. So I wanted to give you guys a video of just a basic, here's what works. So I go to the internet, I'm looking at Eero, I'm looking at Orbi, I'm looking at Nighthawk, I'm looking at Linksys, I'm looking at you name it. I've looked at it, I've read different articles about it, and it starts to get the same thing, like all the videos do. Blah, 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 blah. I don't understand it. I told you the three things I want. I want to be able to cover the whole house. I want the speed that I pay for. I don't want it to be cut in half on the speed. And I also want to be able to put numerous devices on there. I think that's pretty simple. I just need you to tell me that it does that, and it does it for a decent price, and it does it for whatever price. Just tell me what it does. All right. So now that I've harped on that a little bit, I'm looking at the Eero. That was the one I was about to purchase. And then I go to Amazon, because Amazon owns Eero, so I go to the Amazon page, and I start looking at the review. The very first review saved my butt when buying this stuff. Here's what the review said. So this review is from Sir1 Jaguar, and the header of the review says, "Do not buy any dual band mesh router." He goes on to say that he's tested 50 plus units in his 1,500 square foot home, and then he tells you a few things you need to buy, why you need to buy it. First thing, tri-band, not dual band. Basically, so you get the full speed that you're paying for every month. That's huge. Wi-Fi 5 or Wi-Fi 6, especially if you've got more than 25 devices. He talks about security suites and things like that. Then he goes in a few more tangents here about things, internet speeds versus different units that he's bought. And then he goes down here to the bottom, talks about how you can get them priced, different things. He showed people the difference between the Eero and the Orbi, the price and the speed wise. And basically what he's saying is save your money, get the Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6 with the tri-band mesh router. All right, without that review, I would have still been lost. I mean, I've literally been looking at this stuff for days. I would have still been lost. So what did it tell me? It tells me that in order to get whole house coverage, I need a system that's going to cover my whole house. My house is 2,600 square feet, not counting the outdoor pool area, not counting the driveway, not counting really the garage. So we're looking at probably right at 3,000 square feet for the whole footprint of the house. And then we go out the outside back patio and the pool area, we're probably adding another 1,000 square feet, give or take. So 4,000 or 5,000 square feet. Well, most all these systems cover that, or at least they say they do. Perfect, no problem. Now I want speed. I don't want to cut my signal in half. Well, this is where I was really confused. How do I keep the speed without cutting the system in half? Well, you have to go with a tri-band system, just like the review said. If you go with a dual band system, you don't have a dedicated backhaul channel to take care of that information that goes back and forth between the router and the satellites. They have to carry across the same signal, so you inevitably lose signal strength on your main channels if you don't have that third channel. I don't know what any of that means, but I know that 3 is more than 2, and that was pretty simple, honestly. I just figured that pretty simple. Anyway, okay, so also I wanted something that could hold the number of devices on there. Well, this one's like capable of, I think, about 40 devices. The Orbi goes to like 100 devices, but God, 40, 100, which one do I go with? Well, for me, 40 was fine. So how do I make the decision on what I need now, which one to go with? Well, I've been hearing Nighthawk. So I looked at the Nighthawk thing, and immediately I realized that, or I looked at Netgear, and I realized that, I've got a couple options here. The first one was the Orbi, and don't get me wrong, it looks sleek. It looks like it meets my needs 100%. Orbi looks awesome. But for their router and one satellite, it was like $1,000, $1,000 for that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not really bucking the prices here because, as most of you probably know, I get paid to do YouTube. So I've got to invest in systems and equipment to make things work, but man, $1,000, that is steep. Well, their other option on the same screen is their Nighthawk. So I choose to look at the Nighthawk a little more because I'd heard the Nighthawk. So I choose to look, and what do you know? The Nighthawk is exactly what I'm looking for. It's got a satellite, or it's got a router, 2 satellites. It says like 4,500. So I'll fast forward. I go to Best Buy, pick this thing up, bring it home. It's 6,750 square feet it covers. It says right there on the front of the box. 6,750 square feet, up to 3.6 gigs. It is going to be plenty fast enough. It's got a tri-channel, meaning that it has the 2 main channels that's going to carry my data over, and it's got the dedicated backhaul channel, and it works. So this is where I'm sitting now. I'm in my office above the garage with full internet speed. No problem connecting to the internet, no problem uploading videos, no problem doing any of that stuff. So it was immediate. All right, so the setup's super easy. You literally open the boxes, take out the equipment, take out the power cords, take out the Ethernet cable. You walk over, and hang on, let me back up. So to get this whole process started, the installation, you literally just take your phone, you take your camera, and you scan the RFID code on the back of the router itself. It's on the packaging. It brings everything up. You download the Nighthawk app, and then it walks you through step by step. If you mess this installation up, it's because you wanted to. You don't have to hit manually set it up. Just follow the wizard. Let it do its thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many steps is, let it do its thing. It literally walks you through it. Now, the only thing that hiccuped a little bit on the installation was my cellular data on my phone, because I did this all through my iPhone when I set everything up. The cellular data on my iPhone was trying to override the Wi-Fi part. So I just went in there and turned my cellular data off, and then it had no choice but to go to the Wi-Fi settings that I was trying to do. Like I was trying to get on the Netgear. It comes up with like a name. It was like Netgear 49 as the original name of my network. And yours may be different. But that was the only hiccup that I had, was just I needed to turn my cellular data off so that it would stop fighting the Wi-Fi portion. Once I did that, though, we were in business. It was 100% good to go, never a problem. It went through without a hitch, got it signed. And 15 minutes later, I'm at full capacity Wi-Fi. It's working great. So This is not like one of those other techie review things. This is telling you that the Netgear Nighthawk works. It absolutely works. I took 2600. My daughter just told me this morning that her PS4, PS5, whatever she's got, didn't lag one time last night. She said, Dad, it always lags. She said it absolutely works. So this is coming from a 17-year-old kid, or almost 17-year-old kid. This is coming from me. It works. The Netgear Nighthawk covers your whole house. Now I went with a router and 2 satellites. It's covers 6,750 square feet, 3.6 gigs. 3.6 gigs. It absolutely works. That's all you need to know. It absolutely works. Don't go cheap out on me. This thing was $3.99 at Best Buy. I know it's expensive. Gosh, I know it's expensive. I bought the Geek Squad protection plan. I don't want to do that, but you know what? I went ahead and bought on this thing. But it works. That's all you need to know. It works. Stop looking anywhere else. It works. No, don't. It works. It absolutely works. It works. All right, thanks.